All right, so I am back, and today we're gonna have another rant of the week, and this one's by request, and it's gonna be for the Masterpiece Dinobot. Now, a lot of people wanted me to rant about this figure. I think especially the cost. Honestly, I love it. I think the figure looks amazing. When we saw the great prototype images, it's like, man, that thing looks good. That looks good. And then we saw color prototypes. It's like, oh my god. I love the way it looks. Now, we're talking about cost here with Masterpiece line. This is a Masterpiece Primal, or one of the versions, the toy version. And they're, what were they, $120, I believe? 120, 125, something around there, I believe. And then Cheetor here, who is, I want to say 75-ish. How about that? I got Masterpiece Rodimus Prime. I think he was about the same. It's kind of one of those. It's like, I don't know what you guys really want. what I can really say about the cost of Masterpiece that I haven't already talked about in the past. The most jarring one was Masterpiece Megatron at $220 a piece, something like that. Now, bear in mind, this is regular U.S. retail costs that I'm talking about. I know you could get it from, Japan or from China, and you pay a little bit less, but then you pay more in shipping, and then it becomes the same price anyway. Some people, when I've talked about the cost of Masterpiece Megatron, they're like, I got it for $170. Well, it's like, great for you. That's awesome. You save $50 where everybody else paid $50 more. What I'm talking about is explicitly the cost of U.S. retail purchases. I mean, I don't shop overseas typically, so I can't sit here and tell you what the prices are. And the average U.S. consumer doesn't do that either. They purchase it through U.S. retailers, such as TF Source, BBTS, The Chosen Prime, which is my favorite. And no, I don't get paid for any of this. Captured Prey is awesome. Toy Jojo's great. You can't really go wrong with any of them. I've had problems with the packing and the shipping from TF Source. And I'm not a huge fan of BBTS's cheap shipping option. Because it goes Smart Post, and I live in a little mountain town, so all of that sucks. But anyway, we're not talking about that right now. So the Masterpiece Dinobot is $230, I believe. Oh, my phone's over there. So it's like $230, something like that, and it comes with a plethora of accessories. You got different heads. It comes with like the display base, which looks pretty cool. He's big. I believe he's about MP10 size, because he's bigger than Primal. So I would say he's probably about MP10 size. So yeah, it sucks that they're charging this much, but they've been charging this much for a while now, and it's not as jarring as it was when they first were doing it. More jarring to me at the moment is actually Masterpiece Sunstreaker. At $120, that's a huge jump for a MP car. And that's just insane. Especially when there's third-party options that are a hell of a lot cheaper. Well, okay. Third-party option, not options. There's the Bad Cube Sunsurge. The other one, apparently, for what I've seen, is not an option. I haven't had a chance to review that one myself because I don't want to spend $50 on junk. Contrary to popular belief, I typically don't go out of my way to buy junk to tear it apart. I actually have hopes for said junk, like the Generation Toy Devastator. I was hoping that it would be good once it got combined mode, but nope, it wasn't. Anyway, so with the Dinobot, I mean, everything about that thing looks great. I'm gonna go grab my phone. Hold on one second. Big Bad Toy Store, see what we got going on here. Because this thing, I mean, it looks great. I hate the way Big Bad Toy Store is redesigned, but it's just kind of the way I'm used to going. Yeah, $120 for Sunstreaker. All the other cars are like $65, $80 for Trax. Wow. The MP05 Megatron, the gold version's on sale for $80. Interesting. Okay, $250 for Dinobot. That is expensive. The MP10B Black Convoy is $130. $140 with a collector coin. Cheetor was $85. I can't seem to find Megatron at the moment. But anyway, let's look at the Dinobot. So, yeah, I mean, I think he looks amazing. Absolutely amazing. He looks, like he just came right out of the show. He's got a sword and signature tail weapon. He's got little clip-ons for his eyes, so you can show that he's shooting the lasers out of his eyes. For all you guys that are Beast Wars fans, you know what I'm talking about. It looks like maybe the tail will spin, which would be pretty cool. Comes with a golden disc. Here he is with the display base in a running pose. And, I mean, that just looks so good. So good. So he's got 3 faces, the laser eyes, the tail, sword. Looks like some other bits. I'm not entirely sure what they're for. The stand, and of course the golden disc. So that's what it all comes with. And here he is next to Primal and Cheetor, so you can see how big he is in comparison. So he's a beefy bot. Now, let's see here. So here we got MP10, so we can just kind of see scale-wise about how big he's going to be. And here you got Primal. So yeah, I'd say he's going to be a little shorter than MP10, but I think he's going to be a little bit broader than MP10. So he's a good size bot. I think that's the perfect scale for him. Now we need a Rhinox. Now, I can't bring myself to hate the figure. The cost is insane, but again, like I've been saying, it's just I'm not taken aback by it anymore. I mean, yeah, it's way too much for a toy. It's almost got to the point where it's like, maybe that's not worth it for a lot of people, but for me, I think it is. I mean, look at the Fans Toys Dinobots. They're $200 a piece mostly. I would say that's money well spent, as opposed to the MP Seeker mold when the Takara puts them out and they're $200 a piece for a repaint of a $70 mold from Hasbro. I mean, I can't sit here and say that, oh yeah, that sounds like a great purchase there, you know. Or when MP10, the Takara version is $250, but the Hasbro version is $150. Or the sound waves are the same price, but the Hasbro one comes with all the tapes. Of course, the price is insane. It's stupid, but you know, I said all my piece, you know, with the Megatron, because that was ridiculous when Megatron came out at $220 or $230 or whatever it was, and yeah, he comes with a bunch of accessories, but still, that's way too much for a figure like that. And yeah, the Dinobot, yeah, it's way too much for a figure like that. I mean, I'm still gonna pay it, and that's the most unfortunate part about all of this, is the fact that we're all still gonna buy it. I didn't buy the Megatron. I did 2 giveaways for it, so I was able to review it. But I will not buy it. I won't. I mean, that's not something I'm going to add to my collection. I'm actually redoing my collection to more chug scale, but I've got the Make Toys Megatron. DX9 is my preferred one, but I got the Make Toys for pretty cheap, so I can't sit here and argue. And I still think this is a better version, or a better figure, I think. Anyway. We're not talking about Megatron. We're talking about the cost of the MP figures. Yeah, it's the $120 for a car. That's the most jarring that I've seen in the recently. You know, Megatron. We knew that last year. So any figure that's going to be about that size from now on is going to be over the $200 mark. Yeah, it's going to come with a ton of accessories to make it seem like it's worth it. And it would be cool to get like a base figure that's cheaper, you know, like rather than charging $150 for Optimus, you know, drop the trailer and drop the price, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like, you know, the Megatron doesn't need the stock silencer and all that. Maybe we can make that cheaper, or the Dinobot, maybe, you know, cut out the display stands, all that stuff. Maybe we can make it a little bit cheaper figure. You know, that'd be kind of cool to have like an economic cost figure. Will these ever get picked up by Hasbro? Who knows? But one of the things you got to remember also with this is, and it's kind of like it's going to sound like a double standard, but there's a reason for me saying this. There's not a whole lot of repaint opportunity for Dinobot. Now, I know there's not a lot of repaint opportunity for Megatron. So I'm more okay with Dinobot being more expensive than Megatron, because Megatron is a bigger name. It's a bigger character. There's more collectors out there for the G1 figures than there are for Beast Wars figures, especially for high-end collectible figures. You know, there's the casual Beast Wars collectors, but they won't spend $250 on a figure. Now, the Megatron, you know, it's a much bigger name. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever see it in a Hasbro release of that. Just because of, you know, regulations and stuff like that. I really doubt we'll see that, but you know, that's because it's a gun. You can't really get away from that, and I totally get that. But still, I mean, I believe they're on their 2nd or 3rd production run with it. I think I could be wrong there, but you know, they could just keep cranking these guys out because people love Megatron. The casual fans from G1 that are gonna be like, oh hey, you know, they might not be a Masterpiece collector, you know, per se. They might just be like, oh, I want the key players. I got Megatron, I got Soundwave, or you know, yeah, I got Optimus. You know, I just want the key players. I don't really want to build a whole collection, but Megatron would top that list for those people. Megatron fans it's gonna top their list, and of course the MP collectors, it's gonna top their list as well. Everyone's got to have that Masterpiece Megatron. I get that. That's why, to me, that price of that figure should be lower than the price of the Dinobot, because Dinobot, there's one I think there's 2, maybe 3 repaint opportunities, but there's for such a niche crowd that I can't see it being as successful as the Megatron. It's not going to be. So they're going to have lesser or a smaller amount of repaint possibilities. It's catering to a smaller market, and yeah, they've got to recoup the cost for the molds. So I mean, like, like I said, like Megatron, you know, you don't really necessarily need to repaint him. Although there are options for a Megatron repaint. You go do the Diaclone colors, which would be kind of cool. It would be kind of cool if they did a, because they did kind of that gray cartoon color. It'd be kind of cool if they did it like a silver color. You know, like the Make Toys one, more silverish instead of the gray. I think that'd be pretty cool. Those are options for that Megatron. For the Dinobot, though, the only options you have for repainting the Dinobot, you got the toy version, because right now we got that's the cartoon version. You can do the toy version like they did with the Primal. The figure, the original figure itself was repainted into Beast Wars Grimlock, so it was white and gold. So you could potentially get that. But that's kind of a long shot at this point, because you'd think that they would have already done some repaints from the Cheetor mold, if they're going down that road. But they may not be going down that road. They may just be calling it a day, which would be really stupid of them. But at the same time, they might be sitting there thinking, well, we might not get our money back if we do this. You know, I mean, G2 Sideswipe, for example, you know, that was going for a niche crowd, and I don't think that did very well. Same with like Red Bumblebee and Gold Bumblebee. I don't think those guys did as well as Bumblebee, for example. So I don't know if they'll even bother. And then the other option for Dinobot, which I would personally love, would be like a battle damaged Dinobot, and have him come with like his axe weapon from the cartoon where he dies. I think that would be really awesome. Or like he could come with like a pistol or something like that, or maybe Inferno's gun, because he used that for a little while in that final battle. I think that would be really cool to see. But also, again, I don't think we will. I hope we will. I mean, I would love, you know, like, so Primal, we've got the 2 colorations of Primal so far. And there's there's a bunch of repaints of this from the original Beast Wars and Beast Wars 2. But I know, like, Universe redid it in, like, almost like a purplish color scheme, purplish brown color scheme. I'd buy that right away. Cheetor, the original toy, was retooled or repainted into Shadow Panther and into Tigatron, so I'd buy those right away. I'd buy those in a heartbeat. Same with the Dinobot. I mean, I'd be willing to spend $1,000 on repaints on the Dinobot. I just don't know if we will, and I could easily see that that's why they're charging as much as they are. And here I am defending them, and at the end of the day, it is ridiculous that they are charging that much. But I could see their point on this one more than I could see it on Megatron or Sunstreaker. It's like, really? really? Because, like, yeah, there were so many instant repaint opportunities for tracks, and he was only $80. I could see charging a little bit more for him than Prowl, because, you can get more repaints out of Prowl than you can tracks. But then they kind of shoehorned him into Loud Pedal and I think the G2 one, or was it Takara? Or no, or I don't know, the red one, whatever that one was. But at the end of the day, it's just kind of like, no, I don't think anybody cared too much about those either. But then Sunstreaker's $120, and it's like, I don't see the value there at all in that car. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling, but it's kind of the gist of the thing. Although, like I said, it's like I could see where they're coming from with the cost on the Dinobot being where it is. It sucks. There's not much that we can do about it aside from not buy it, but that's not an option for certain collectors. And, at this time last year when I was ranting about Megatron's cost, and I was so pissed off about how much it cost, I was definitely in that boat of, well, we'll just not buy it. And now that I'm in that same shoes, I could see where so many people were defending the cost of the Megatron and be like, well, no, we're going to buy it anyway. And it's like, you know what? I see where you guys are coming from now that I'm in that shoes. So I still, but then there's still another story about that, to go off of, is the fact that there was, and I hate to admit it, but there was the Apollyon, because he was garbage. There's the Make Toys Megatron, and then there's the DX9 Megatron. So there were 3 other Megatron options that were out there prior to... sorry, there's a dog barking in the background. But there are 3 other Megatron's options prior to the MP Megatron coming out. So that gave us 4 Masterpiece Megatron options. And so everyone was able to take their own pick, but there are no other options for Dinobot. There are none. Absolutely none. There is no other company doing any Dinobot at all. We got Perfect Effects. They're kind of dabbling with a few kind of MP scaled Beast Wars stuff. But I think that's it. And that's kind of unfortunate. I wish there would be more. And I wish... Yeah, I kind of wish those KO companies would get their hands on the, like, Cheetor. But I think that right there is showing you how much of a niche crowd that the Beast Wars are truly, catering to. That there's enough people to make the figures for, but there's not enough to create a huge high demand for them. If that makes sense. And a good way to look at that is every single Masterpiece figure from day one to now has been knocked off. I think with the exception of Rodimus, the Rodimus Prime figure. But then again, they could have been with those, they said the Takara factory rejects that were rebuilt. Those could be knockoffs. It's kind of hard to say at this point. But all the other Masterpiece figures have been knocked off at one point or another. But not the Beast Wars. None of them have been knocked off yet. So, that right there, it's like, even if the knockoff companies won't make us a whole bunch of repaints of them, why would the official company? So yeah, I could see where they're coming from, making the cost of him be so high. It sucks ass, and I really wish that there was another way to get him, but there isn't. So I've already got him pre-ordered. So it's just, I'm not going to sit here and say like, oh, I'm not going to buy this figure. But I pre-ordered it as soon as it came up. It's like, cost be damned, that thing looks amazing. I'm super excited for it. I can tell you it's probably going to end up being my figure of the year. For 2018, Because I don't think there's anything else coming out, and the rumor is Megatron's next. So expect him to probably breach the 300 mark. And yeah, just, oh man, I don't know. So anyway, yeah, there you go. What do you guys think of the? First off, let's do this in two parts. What are your thoughts on the MP Dinobot figure? Are you guys excited for it? Are you? I don't care because I'm a G1 fan, or don't like Beast Wars, or don't like Masterpiece. There are some of you guys out there as well. Or do you not like the way the figure looks? Are you a fan of Beast Wars and you don't like the way the figure looks? I think it's gorgeous, but to each their own. And then on the other side of it, what do you think of the current Masterpiece cost? Not just the Dinobot cost, because it's Masterpiece in general has gotten to that point of like, what the hell kind of cost. It makes you kind of question the collection. That's why I'm for my G1 style, I've reverted back to Chug, because I sat there, looked at my finances, and looked at the cost of these figures and what the cost of the figures are slowly progressing into, and I've decided that that's not a good cost for me to continue collecting Masterpiece figures. I can't afford $200 a figure. I can't. I would rather spend that money and go buy the entire, first wave of Power of the Primes. Although some of those figures look bad too. But or go back and go on eBay and buy all these other figures that are going for cheap now, because now the Masterpiece options are out there. People are selling them for cheap. Fans Project stuff is super cheap at the moment. But yeah, it's like, I couldn't keep up with that cost. At first it was like, oh, the only figures that are really $200 a piece are the dinos. Okay, maybe I could do that. $70 for a car, maybe $60 for a car if I'm lucky. That works. But then looking at where it was going, and then $120 a car, $200 a seeker. It's just like, you know what? I'm out. I can't do this. I can't afford it. I've got other things to do with my time and money and all that stuff. It's just $200 a figure, and that's kind of between $100 to $200 is now the average Masterpiece figure cost. Moving forward, that's what we're gonna see. I don't think you're gonna see any Masterpiece figures coming out that are under that $100 range unless we get some more mini bots. I don't see that. I don't see it at all. Everything else is going to be, I think, $100. I mean, look at the Masterpiece cars. So, what are you guys' thoughts on Masterpiece cost in general?